Welcome back to Sketchup for Schools. Here in this project, we're going to kind of go off of our last episode from our Plan Set 1 project. So this is more of a sequel series in which we're going to frame up our shed instead of doing kind of a finished version of it. So this is kind of where you should be. You should have your tags and everything, and we're simply going to turn off our walls, windows, and everything. And then if you do have some left, just go through here and place it wherever you feel it fits. So I'm gonna make a new tag and we're just going to call it miscellaneous. So here we can put that into our miscellaneous. Same thing here, put that in the miscellaneous. Let's turn off our miscellaneous, see where we're at. All right, so now that we got all of that cleaned up, we're going to lay out where all of our studs go. So to begin with, we're going to take our tape measure and I'm simply going to create guides 3.5 inches away from the edge. Next, I'm going to, so these two walls have the walls going all the way to the end. These two will come in shorter. So here I'm going to just simply take my rectangle tool and draw in a rectangle. We're going to pull that rectangle up 1.5 inches. And that is our base plate for our shed. I'm going to turn this into a component and type in base plate 1. Let's make a copy of it. So hit Control with the move tool, bring it over here to this other side. Most of our wood pieces will be 2x4s. The headers will be 2x6s. The roof will be 2x4s. Everything will be components except for the double top plate. I tend to turn those into groups, especially for small projects like this, because none of them tend to match the other pieces. So that's the way that's going to work. Let's go in here and draw in our second piece. You can hover over the piece we already made in order to bring it up 1.5 inches. So whenever you're moving and copying, you always want to think about where you're moving it from and where you're moving it to. So here I do have edges on both, but this is a really good corner to go to. So I want to move it from this inside corner, hit Control, so that way I can hover over that corner and move it there. And it's really quick and effortless. So that is our rough base plates We will be making this one unique because our door is in this one, but these other ones will be fine. Next, let's go ahead and create our blank walls. So these two are just two regular walls, so they're nice, quick, and easy. Let's take our tape measure, and we're going to bring out 1.5 inches, as all of our studs are 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches to make them 2x4s. So when we bring this up, the overall height of the wall is going to be 8 feet, but our studs are going to be a bit shorter than that, and your typical stud is typically 92 space 5/8, so 92 and 5/8 inches. So we don't need to put in an apostrophe, don't need to put in a comma, just put in 92 and 5/8 as you see down in the lower right hand corner. Once you type it in just like that, you'll hit enter, and there we have the typical stud that you'll see at Lowe's, Home Depot, or wherever you're going to buy it. We definitely want to turn this one into a component. Make sure that everything is blue. You'll triple click on it. I tend to just click on it a bunch until it selects. Right click and make this a component, and we'll do it a 2x4 regular. Alright, so at this point we're going to use the array tool, so that way we can copy this every 16 inches. So we're going to take this left point, hit Control, drag it over, type in 16, hit enter. Before we do anything else, you'll hit X, and let's just do 10. Scroll out, and that was actually really close. So here we're going to move it to this corner, so we want to select from this corner in order to place it there. At this point, instead of redoing all that on the other side, I'm simply going to select, going from right to left, those right there. Whenever you're selecting, there's two different ones there. If you go from the right to left, everything has to be inside the box. If you go from the left to the, or from your right to your left, then it will select whatever it is that you're touching. So we'll have that come in here. We're going to move it from this corner, hit Control, and bring that over to this one. We do have, so I typically design these using the California stud, the 3 stud corners. So we have a stud at the end of each wall, and then we have a third stud that comes in order to create our little L on the inside, so that we have space in there to nail drywall and such. So I'm simply going to use this one, make a copy of it. I'm going to scroll up here to the top, hover over the top with our move tool, and I'm simply going to go in here, do that, move this from this corner to that corner. Next, we're going to take it from this corner, and we're going to place it over here. If you select one of them, hold down Shift, select the other. With your selection tool, take your move tool, hit Control, and bring it over and place it on the other side. So at this point, let's go ahead and bring in our double top plate. Select our bottom base plate. We're going to move it from the very bottom, place it up there, and then I'm just going to make another one and put it there. I'm going to move this 3.5 inches. Your corners will always alternate. So if your bottom of the top plate goes all the way to the end of the wall, the top one will go 3.5 inches shorter. So we're going to make this one unique. Right click, edit component, push pull tool, and we're going to bring this in to there, and then we're going to bring this in 3.5 more inches. Or you can simply just 3.5 plus 3.5 and move it up 7 inches. So now that we have those, select both of those, and let's move it over here to our other side. So that is where we will stop this project in this episode. We have our left and right walls. Now we need to create our front and back walls, which will be roughly the same starting out, but then we'll add in our doorways and windowways.